Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing amazing, having a great day yourself. Real quick, I'm going to get chat up, make sure we have video, and then we'll get right into working on this book. Hold on one second, check and make sure this stuff's good. Looks like we do have chat up. So I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a pretty freaking good day myself. I'm still waking up, but I think we're doing awesome. And so we'll go ahead and get this baby going. We're, of course, working on chapter number 7 today. I think we're actually done, but I haven't actually looked through it yet, so let's see what's happening. I arrived back at Trags, this time with a welcome greeting from Bruno and Frank at the door. As I entered, I noticed Salvador and Trag were in full swing of planning. So much so. Oh, so much so. Okay, I don't usually use so much so as a term. You know what I mean? So that threw me off. In flow. Ugh. It's 5 a.m., guys. I'll try to get my words out. As I entered, I noticed Salvador and Trag were in full swing of planning, so much so that they seemed not to notice me as I came in. I don't know if I like that. I'm going to have to think about that. I spoke up, inserting myself. Hey, Trag, I managed to pull together some extra muscle for your crew. When do you think we'll be ready to head out, and what's the plan from here? Salvador turned to look, replying, we have almost everything set up. Salvador will be bringing some of his people along with some weapons. With the weapons. Okay, along with the weapons and gear, so everything is in place. I also contacted Akio, and he said that we should meet him tomorrow at Dock 51. I can. You know what? What do we want? I was about to expand it and give them more numbers to make the place bigger, but whatever. We don't need that. I can message you when it's time. Just make sure your people are ready. Trag grinned with excitement. Okay. As he patted me on the back, saying, Sam, congrats on getting together the extra muscle. I don't know if I like this. Okay, we'll leave it in there. Trag grinned with excitement as she patted me on the back, saying, Sam, congrats on getting together the extra muscle we needed. The way you came through for us is just. Wait, that doesn't make sense. The way you came through for us is much appreciated. I. Oh, crap. I'll say appreciate enough, obviously, because I'm really sucking at spelling it today. Okay, boom. Got it. Let's see if this makes more sense. Sam, congrats on getting together the extra muscle we needed. I really appreciate you coming through for me on this. Make sure you finalize what you need. Then go home and get some sleep. I nodded and decided to head home, messaging everyone while I was on the way. I felt exhausted and very much looked forward to getting some sleep, but still wanted to explore what I could of the AI. I knew I needed to wait. I knew I needed to be awake and ready early enough to make sure everything went smoothly. My plan was getting together with a small group. With the small group I had assembled. Oh, okay, let's see if I like this better. My plan was to get together with a small with this with. Okay, let's see. I knew I needed to be awake and ready early enough to make sure everything went smoothly. My plan was to get together with my team of friends. Uh, okay. My plan was to get together with my team. We don't need that. I had assembled and head ahead of time. Not really liking how I wrote this. My plan was to get together with my team. Let's see if this is better. My plan was to get together with the team I had assembled and head ahead of time, comma, comma, ahead of time and be ready for when I received the message from Salvador Trag to head to Dock 51. I think that's better. That was just really bad. It is 5 a.m., guys, so I'm sorry for, the fact that this isn't perfect. I am kind of trying to watch chat. I know I upset somebody last week because they didn't feel I was watching chat and they said stuff. I'm going to let you know I'm literally don't have an extra screen. I'm literally able to only see that we're doing things off of a phone. And so I do not sit here staring at the phone while I'm streaming. So if you say something and I don't notice, don't be shocked. And it's not that I'm trying to be rude to you. It's just I don't have extra screens. I can't see what you're saying most of the time. Just being honest with you. I'll try to be better about watching that stuff because I literally am not attempting to hurt anybody's feelings by ignoring anybody. It's just we're trying to do stuff, and my biggest focus isn't watch chat. Just as a heads up. Okay, I got back to my living quarters right as Orion messaged me back, letting me know he had already talked to Blake and Toby, and they were in. Orion thought he might also have one more friend he could count on, Rory, but he had not heard back from her yet. I knew Rory. She had been a battle mage for the Confederation of Planets during the most recent pushback to take. Oh, push to take. Let's double check that we've got this the same all the way through, right? Let's see. Who else do we have as a combat guide? Make sure we have them on the same team. Ryan. Confederation of Planets. Good, we're good. Okay, I knew Rory. She had been a battle mage for the Confederation of Planets during the most recent push to take. Mm, Okay, we'll see if this looks good. I'm not sure. We'll find out soon. Okay, she had lots of experience going into dangerous situations and had experienced well, fighting the twisted abominations left over after the horrors withdrew into their own dimension. She was human, but chimerically spliced with multiple genetic traits. For the most part, she was an attractive human female with expressions of feline traits. For the most part, she was an attractive human female with the expressions. Is it felinal traits, though? Okay, I'm going to leave it like that, but I think it might technically be felinal, and I'm not a million percent sure. And I'm going to just tell you guys the truth. But basically, she's a cat girl. That's what we've got, right? Brandon and Zach also messaged back, confirming they would be ready and be at Orion's early. I sat on my bed after washing a few capsules of bliss down and trying to use what little connection the nanites had made so far between the AI and my mind. It was not enough to handle a direct connection, but it was close. But it was close. Beyond the connections being made to my mind, my technopathy allowed me to feel the nanites spreading through my body. Oddly, I felt a strange pull from the AI, as if as if it is responsive, as if it was responsive to my technopathy, but I could not explain it. I don't know if I like that. Oddly, I felt a strange pull from the AI as if it was responsive to my technopathic ability, but I cannot explain it. But I could. Oddly, I felt Okay, we're going to leave it like this. Oddly, I felt a strange pull from the AI, as if it was responsive. Do we want responsive or responding? I'm going to leave it as responsive for right now. But I could not explain it. As the bliss kicked in, I found myself drifting off into a very well-deserved deep sleep. That's okay. Okay. My dreams were strange, mostly filled with me working to solve some unseen puzzle. I knew I was close to the answer, but I never was able to see the actual puzzle itself. Then suddenly, right as my God, I am just a mess this morning. I'm going to drink a little bit more coffee, try to get my shit together. Struggling like crazy to read out loud this morning. Shocking. My dreams were strange and mostly filled with me working to solve some unseen puzzle. I don't like the sentence here. My dreams were strange and mostly filled. Okay, got it. I know how to fix this. Okay. My dreams were strange, filled mostly with me working to solve some unseen puzzle. I knew I was so close to the answer, but I never once was able to see the actual puzzle. Okay, I think we can get rid of that, but I never was able to see the actual puzzle itself. That's good. Okay, then suddenly, right as I thought I had solved it, I woke up, filled with thoughts about the day to come. As I gathered my stuff and got around, I made a plan. I would rush to Orion's, getting there early enough to have things well in order before Salvador and Trag would contact us. I wondered what kind of ship would we be. Wait. I added a weird. I don't know why would be in. I wondered what kind of ship. Okay, there. I think we need this here. That there. Okay, I wondered what kind of ship would we be traveling on, and if everything would be really be okay. Okay, and if. Okay, let's see if this looks better. I hope it does because it can't look worse, right? I wonder I wondered what kind of ship we'd be traveling on and if things would really turn out okay for us at all. Us all. Let's just leave. Boom. I had convinced so many friends to come along that now I worried about what I had got them into. Okay, I had convinced so many of my friends to come along that now I worried about what I had gotten us in all into. That I'm okay with. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Let's hope that I can think of something better to improve it by tomorrow or so. I'm retouching everything on the weekends just so you guys know, and so like I do realize that there's still small amounts of touchy that we need to do after we get through these. And so I am having people look over it, then I'm actually touching it again, just so you guys know. I arrived at Orion's. He was already awake, looked to be well rested and prepared. There were two large military style equipment. Okay. Almost feel I need something in here. A transition to where we actually went there. Let's just go there. As I Okay, as I arrived at Orion's, he was already awake, looked to be well rested and prepared. There were two large military style equipment containers shoved neatly in the corner, with a set of Duradex combat armor laying on top. Orion had managed to convince his friend Rory to come, and she was already there and ready to go. Knowing of Rory and her reputation made me more than glad that she was coming. She was well put together, wearing fine garments, without without a hair out of place, and patiently, let's get a comment here, and patiently fidgeting with her tail while we were waiting. Boom. Okay. She was setting, patiently fidgeting with her tail while waiting. I don't know if I like that. I want to change it, honestly. And now I'm having to think of what the hell to do. I feel I'm going to want to hit this chapter again later today when I get done with the work I have to do for the day. Okay, she was sitting, patiently fidgeting with her tail. No, you don't patiently fidget. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do here, guys. I don't like this. And in all honesty, I'm going to look at this later because I feel I was not awake when we started this shit this morning. And I'm going to be honest. I'll be hitting this later on again. She was setting. I don't like something about this. And in all honesty, guys, I'm trying to figure out how to fix it, but I'm not liking this. I do want to have something where we have her playing with her tail, but how it's coming out isn't how I want it at all, and so I'm really trying to figure out how we fix this. Okay. Okay. This might sound better. Let's just hope to God it does. She was well put together, wearing fine garments, without a hair out of place. She was sitting calmly, waiting. She was sitting calmly waiting as her tail coiled and curled back and forth almost hypnotically. Okay, so as her cat like tail coiled and curled back and forth almost hypnotically. On the other hand, Brandon and Zach and Sarah seemed to have just arrived. Okay, on the other hand, Brandon, Zach, and Sarah just arrived at Orion's and looked as if they had partied through the night. Okay, let's see if I like that. On the other hand, Brandon, Zach, and Sarah. Okay, look at this. On the other hand, Brandon, Zach, and Sarah arrived shortly after I got there and looked to have partied through the night. Good. I asked Zach, "Did you guys get some rest? Or is Sarah coming?" Zach replied, "Yes, Sarah's coming too. We went out partying last night. I just figured we'd have ample. Oh. Yeah, we'd have ample time to get some rest during the trip to whatever, or, okay, to wherever. Okay, to wherever we are headed. I like that better for some reason. Oren told me Blake and Toby just messaged me. Just messaged. Okay. Oren told me Blake and Toby just messaged, and they are already headed down to Dock 51 to look things over before we arrive. I had not thought about that, but Orion and his friends were covering that aspect. Covering that aspect made me feel a bit safer. It was less than an hour before I received a message from Salvador. Things were ready, and the ship would be arriving soon. So he wanted us to head to the dock. Okay, so good. I'm not upset about that. Let's read through this more. We arrived at Dock 51, which was bustling with activity as industrial work robots unloaded the various cargo vessels docked. Salvador was standing with Trag, Bruno, Frank, and a pleasantly well endowed, long legged knockout of a woman who I did not know. Whoever she was, she had long braided red hair with indigo blue eyes and a soft face. Trag looked relieved to see us as we arrived, saying, "Looks like we've put together a solid crew. Thanks, Sam." Salvador handed us all some rations to eat while we waited. Surprisingly, either the rations were not that bad or I was that hungry. While we all sat quietly eating, Salvador gave everyone a Kakari, I think I called it right, Kakari laser pistol to stash away just in case. I had never used a pistol and was for sure hoping I would not have to. I knew the Kakari laser pistol was great for ammo capacity, allowing for 100 shots per battery cell, but overall they lacked any real power. We watched the arrival monitors as they modified medium as a modified medium cargo sorry guys. We watched the arrival monitors as a modified medium multi-purpose cargo ship VCMV 4565 arrived. Vemratech Corporation had a massive fleet, with many of them being multi-purpose vessels. This one was different though. It was obviously modified for the transport or operations in hospital space. While trying to keep semi-low key, the ship was around 300 meters long and at least 100 meters thick in both directions, with three long external cargo pods on the bottom side. I said it looks like they have heavily modified a multi-purpose cargo vessel for clandestine operations. Oren quickly replied, "It seems to have been modified with a couple laser turrets, a main long-range laser plasma cannon, three close-range ballistic cannons, and a few point defense turrets. Pretty heavily armed for a cargo ship." As the ship docked and docking systems equalized pressure between the ship and the station, we gathered up our things and began to board. I'm going to honestly tell you guys the truth. This was super sloppy read through for me. I didn't really feel confident in reading through that. I do have to get around, and we still have to stream another stream before I head out for the day. And so I'm gonna probably after work today touch this baby up again. And so I don't feel comfortable with what we have here. It will get touched again later today, but for right now, this is where we are. Tomorrow, of course, we'll move forward with chapter number 8. I do want to thank you guys so much for just being epic, being absolute badasses. I hope you're having a great start to your week. Peace, very best wishes, and you guys have a great day.